Yo guys, what is going on, and welcome back to the Russian bias experiment part 2. And oh boy, before I'm gonna get started, I've received a metric shit ton of comments, mostly criticizing the main goal of the Russian bias experiment in part 1 of this video. So just to clear all things out, and I'm sorry if I wasn't clear enough about it in part 1, but I intended the main goal of this video to be simply finding out if solely the nation of a tank had any influence whatsoever on the in-game RNG. That was also the main reason I decided to test it on the Rudy, because what other vehicle is possibly more suitable than a vehicle with 100% identical stats that only differ by nation. But after playing a bunch of random battles in both the Russian and the Polish Rudy, I soon found out that my perception of Russian bias was wrong all along, since I simply thought that Russian bias was some form of magical, mystical, invisible force deeply engraved into World of Tanks' in-game RNG, programmed to favor Russian tanks over any other nation by giving the Russian tanks better RNG during battles. But oh boy, I was so damn wrong, and you guys, well, let's say you more than clearly let me know my stupid error in the comment section of the previous video. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, I guess. Oh god, I feel so stupid now. But since I had part 2 planned anyways, I decided to continue on testing to just be 100% certain for myself and to safely throw my perspective of Russian bias out of the picture. And I'm not going to talk for too long, but here is in a nutshell what I found out during the random battle test. And as I said before, I can be very straight to the point about this, but my experience with both the Russian and the Polish Rudy after solely playing them for 4 hours straight were pretty much identical. I played 10 battles with the Russian Rudy and 10 battles with the Polish Rudy. The matchmaking was weird enough identical except for one extra top tier game for the Polish Rudy and one extra bottom tier game for the Russian Rudy. But in game I couldn't seem to spot any major performance differences, since overall they both performed like, I don't know, pretty much any regular T-34-85 tank, without any massive performance boosts for the Russian ones. So to conclude part 1 and part 2 of the Russian bias experiment, I only have to say that Russian bias has absolutely no influence on the in-game RNG applied during battles. And if it still exists, we'll have to look into the raw stats of Russian vehicles and compare them to vehicles from other nations with almost identical stats that are not a copy-pasted version of the exact same tank like the Rudy, in order to maybe spot any slight tweaks of hidden stats inside of the Russian vehicles in the game that might influence in-game performance. So to be honest guys, apart from the fact that I still feel freaking stupid right now for not realizing it before, but also I still feel that my mission is not completed yet, since fair enough part 1 and 2 proved that Russian bias has nothing to do with in-game RNG, but I'm personally very curious about the possible presence of Russian bias into the soft hidden stats of Russian vehicles. So if you guys want to see part 3 and possibly part 4, where I'm probably gonna put the possible hidden Russian bias in the stats of Russian vehicles to the test, then make sure to let me know by dropping a like on this video and a comment down below. And who knows, I can still fulfill my mission and prove you guys the existence of Russian bias in the game. But until then, as always, have an awesome day and I'll catch you guys later.